Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Matt Tebow with Stacked, and today I'm joined by FlyQuest mid laner Palafox coming off of a long slog against Team Liquid. How are you doing, man?
It's I'm doing pretty good, you know.
Yeah.
I think that game is hard to swallow. It wasn't fun to be in, but it happened, so
Mm-hmm.
gotta
Talk to
move
me.
forward.
Talk to me about the game overall. The first blood wasn't until I think 18 minutes. You guys set a new LCS record. This split for longest without a first blood, and then you had one team fight, and then it was done.
Yeah.
So, walk me through that.
Um I think I'm sorry, I'm trying to choose my words carefully because I don't want to give much away, but I think that we maybe just drafted a little bit poorly this game because what it felt like was like how the game works is like when one team has tempo and then they use their tempo on something, then you need to like use your tempo back, right? And then you get something. But kind of just felt like we had no turns in the game because we were like losing top lane matchup, getting pushed in bot lane, losing jungle matchup. And then like the only matchup that we were like winning would be my lane, and because every other role was like getting pushed in, there was no. It felt like there was nothing that could happen.
Mm-hmm. And talk to me about the decisions. Like, obviously, like this decision to just kind of camp out in the bush and wait for Jensen to kind of walk in with zero gotcha first blood, and then you got
Yeah.
Renekton twice with it as well off of Diamonds also on Tom Kench. But you
Yeah.
guys gave up a lot as well. Like I think you gave up Dragon on one. I think you gave up a tier 2 and inhibitor on
Hmm.
another play like that. Why were those play calls made, and what made you guys decide? Okay, we want to go for this pick here.
So against champions like Thresh, where like you don't have first position, like again how I said like tempo is like it's their turn, then it's your turn, right? Well, basically, they had turned on the map first. They set up in bot side, and then us face checking that would be like kind of like suicide, you know. I think I hadn't hit my first item, neither did Hecarim, so I just said like we're definitely losing this fight. We're going top side. We're just gonna camp and see if they fuck up. Pretty much that.
And fuck up they did, I guess. Yeah, and this
Yeah.
is also on the tier 2 inhibitor push as well. You guys, why? I guess what I'm asking is why go for that pick when instead of trying to set
Yeah.
up a defense.
So by that point in the game, I mean, obviously we can't see the gold scores, but it just felt like it was going in a pretty negative direction. I think they had Ocean Soul at the time,
Hmm.
and I don't think like the only angles we had were like my stuns, and then for me to get a stun, I'm like
You kind of got to
potentially
walk
gonna
up.
die. Yeah, I'm potentially just gonna die for it. So it's like, well, this looks really hard, so we might as well just go topside. Maybe, yeah, maybe we kill Renekton. And if that happens, like we can get a 4v5 engage or something.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just interesting thoughts. And speaking of interesting thoughts, this is halfway through, a little more than halfway through your first year
Yeah.
in the LCS. How does it feel different from Academy?
Well, definitely enemy mids are better at laning, so that's good. I think I mean some people just straight up don't punish, it feels. And like play off their team and then are just good at like team fighting and like macro play. But you get punished a lot on like small things. I guess an example of this game would be we messed up one timing to get like a midway push, and then like we just like messed up the entire game after that because it was like again it's their turn.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jensen kind of just shoved it down your throats then, eh?
Yeah, pretty much.
And speaking of mid lane pushing, I know Syndra can kind of seem resident sleeper at times, and so can a lot of other
Yeah,
like control mages at that time. But I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that you've been the most like noticeable and exciting to watch on assassins like a Kali.
yeah.
So is that champ pool is the champ pool right now something you're not really favoring, or do you want to see a Kali pick a Kali more? I guess. And does that affect the way you play the lane?
So there are some players that just don't have a deep enough champ pool to actually counter these picks. So anybody I've ever picked like Yon blind into, I just assume it's like they're not going to counter me. It's fine. Like I guess like if somebody were to pick it into me, like I have a pick for it, right? But like it's really obvious when you play against these people, like that they just have no answer, and it's like perfect for the game, right? And past that, I think like right now it's really hard to draft assassins and like 1v1 champs, because at that point, like, again, if your teammates mess up like one timer, like you mess up a timer, it's like quite punishing, I think, in this league.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Akali is also just not meta right now?
Yeah, it just feels like she got kind of over nerfed with like the Riftmaker nerfs and then her Q nerf, and she was already like falling out of meta at the time.
Mm-hmm. And so do you think we're gonna see any Akali picks in the near future?
Just depends if I find a good build path with her. Yeah, I mean, she was like one of my favorite champs, and I think like in the beginning of my career I was a control mage player, and then I like hard swapped to like melee champions because I thought they're just so much more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, I have more melee champs that are piling up, so
Okay, maybe we'll see some of those in the future.
yeah.
Yeah. FlyQuest record as well isn't the greatest, but it feels like you guys kind of stick to other teams in the early game, then late game it just takes one bad team fight or one bad decision, and then everything kind of falls off.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what you guys are working on. What are the improvements you guys have been really focusing on in these past weeks of scrims and games and practices?
So usually it's I think we're getting better at trading, specifically like example would be like when they went to Dragon and we went to the top play. And then past that, it's how we actually want to like team fight on certain champions. Before it was like, if we're playing a poke comp, we don't know that we're like not supposed to just start the objective and poke. And we're just like, what we're doing with like Orianna comps is we're just starting the objective, they're running into us, and it's like, I get like one QW, and then they're pushing us out, and nobody's posturing up, so it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I mean, we're just working on like small micro stuff like team fighting, and then actually like controlling zones.
Mm-hmm. Is that something you consider yourself skilled at, or something you need to work on consistently as well?
I think it's something it's something that should be like said and built upon over time, because it's like if people on your team don't understand that this is the way you want to play, then they're not going to like do things according to that. So it's more like me and Johnson really just like talking to everybody about it and like building up a good foundation over time.
Mm-hmm. In that sense, is it then the team kind of forming around you guys? Because in the past we've seen like Jose Deodo, he's picked Hecarim, and then you guys have played around Hecarim engages. So are you guys trying to change yourselves on the fly in that sense?
I guess. I mean, when Jose or Brandon's playing like carry champs or like engage champs, I think that those champions can always be looking for something, regardless of what the other champs are. So it's just like being on the same page about what everybody wants to do, and fights. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's fair enough. You can't drive the bus every day, and sometimes you let someone else take over a shift. In that regard, you've played every team in the LCS already, and some you've played twice. Which team has surprised you the most this split so far?
Which team has surprised me the most? I think it's hard, but well, I mean, because I had like some expectations of other teams and like other players, but I don't think they've kind of lived up to my expectations. However, it doesn't mean like they're bad by any means, right? So I'm just trying to think.
Who's the team and the players that you've had?
I don't want
you revealed your hand too soon.
I can't say it's Flame. It's Flame.
Oh.
I would say the I'm sorry, what was it? Who was like the hardest to play against? Was your
who surprised you the most? What team has surprised
Who surprised me the most? I think it has to be C9 or TL, because like team fighting against like Core and Vulcan and Blabber, and like basically it just feels like everybody on their team like pressures you, right? And it's something, yeah, pretty much. It's like something different to be against them in team fights, because like if you're posturing forward, it's like 5 people are posturing back, and it's like hard to like make something happen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they play as like that kind of pendulum thing. When one person moves, everybody else does too.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a result of practice, or just everybody on those teams are that good?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like, you have to be really, really good to understand it because you have to like take in your team's position and the enemy team's position at the same time, right? And then on top of it, it's like kind of like I said, like it's a good foundation that you have to build. So everybody has to understand how they want to play.
Speaking of C9, do you think Perks has played as well as you'd expected him to?
I think he's like a pretty solid player, but I mean, I guess it's gonna be a little bit of flame, but like in the individual like 1v1, I think he's doing some like off stuff, I guess. That's about it. But I don't think like I played Cinder versus Tristana, and by no means would I consider that like a good matchup for Perks. So yeah, I mean, I think he's just been okay. I think his macro is like absolutely great though, and his team fighting is really great too. So
Yeah, just the laning.
yeah, just the laning.
Oh, I think you also asked this question to yourself, and I'm just gonna end with this one. Are they the hardest team to play against as well, or is it someone else?
I think TL has to be hands down the hardest team to play against right now.
Really?
I think that all of their players are
like,
really solid.
Even though they're like 6-5 right now.
Yeah. A lot of the games that you see, like even our losses, right? Are like really, really close games. And I think like TL is kind of messing up at the most important part, if that makes sense.
They're fumbling the bag.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I think like a lot of the games you've seen them in, like you'd consider them to have like won games, right?
Yeah.
But they lost those games that they should win. And like other teams are like really, really good at like actually closing out or like maybe just getting lucky and winning a fight. Like somebody plays it well, right? I kind of just feel like even a lot of the games that we've played, like we could have just won like half of ours, half of the losses that we had. So
yeah, maybe that's something to look for in the future. Once again, this is FlyQuest mid laner Palafox. Oh boy. And my name is Matt Tebow with Stacked. You can find us online at stacked.gg, and you can follow us on our socials at StackedLOL. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. It helps a lot, please. Once again, Palafox, thanks for taking the time to talk to me, and good luck on Sunday.
Yeah, thank you.